So of course they always talk about, they always make excuse for these single player games that people beat the game, but games like Borders gave free, say excuse single players don't grasp, but those Borders gave free is pushing these numbers as well. So yeah, there's tons of single player games that are still very popular. Of course, single player games will never be on Steam. You know what's funny? These SOG counts are bashing Borderlands 4 because it has black characters. But of course, we'll ignore that. We'll ignore the fact that Stellar Blade lost 95% of its player base. Mecha Blade lost 95% of its player base as well. But Borderlands 4 has lost 85% of its player base in 1 month after launch as well. Okay, and Borders gave free as well here. And yeah, most games usually have these massive declines because, especially a game that people really don't like. Borderlands is a game that has some decent amount of replayability. Like, a game like this would definitely not have a huge drop off if it, because Borderlands, people, but I think for like most people, they just beat the game and move on. There's a small portion of Borderlands fans that actually care about, collecting all these rare guns and so off on YouTube. Basically, you don't know what Borderlands is, what the Borderlands is as basically, there are two types of Borderlands fans: people who beat the game, multiple times and multiple characters, or people who will spend hours of the time grinding for a single weapon in the game to show off on YouTube or show their friends. Those are the three types of Borderlands players. The first one, that's probably the 85%. The last two are probably the 15% as well, okay? But it's still doing better than Stellar Blade, did in its first month. Where Stellar Blade lost 90% of its players in its first month. Well, told time and time again that Stellar Blade is what gamers truly wanted as well. Even though no one's playing it as well, okay? Because, yeah, look at Stellar Blade. They'll never talk about this, obviously. SRGs will never talk about this. They had the DLC around September to October. But now, since people are done with the DLC, the game is on freefall again. But of course, SRGs will never talk about this because Eve is so beautiful, they can't resist her curves. Yeah. People always say this is what gamers celebrates what truly gamers wanted, but guess what? This is the amount of players Stellar Blade has. This is the Steam website right here. And it's falling like it has been for the past couple of months. Okay, Stellar Blade literally is gonna lose like almost all of its players by next year. Like, it's gonna have less than 1,000 players unless they release like DLC for it, like a major DLC. Which they could do that, but Stellar Blade is a huge, ginormous flop. Okay, but we're told Stellar Blade is what the vast majority of gamers truly wanted. Yeah, bullshit.